Welcome back. You're watching the PolitBureau. The Economic Freedom Fighters has a plan to grow their power in provinces so as to change the lives of the poor. The party celebrated its anniversary in Mpumalanga at the weekend where it is the official opposition after the May elections. Love them or loathe them, the party is now the third biggest in parliament. Well, the EFF's deputy leader, Floyd Shivambu, joins me now. Good evening, sir. Thanks very much for your time. Just very briefly, before we get to the party and your plans. An interesting response to the court, the North Gauteng High Court judgment today about the public protector, where you feel that the judge was, didn't listen to the arguments that were made by your black legal representatives.
Yeah, that is what we made an observation on immediately after the arguments by both sides of the argument. You know that the state was represented by white males exclusively, and the public protector and the EFF were represented by black advocates. And the presiding judge was with admiration listening attentively to what the white advocates, the white counsel was saying during the arguments. And when black counsel stands up to put arguments, before they even finish a sentence already, she was jumping on top of them and showing signs of disapproval. You will remember that when the arguments were concluded there, she said, "Can I pass the judgment now? I'm ready now." Meaning that she already had a judgment. She was not interested in terms of what is going to be said there. So we disagree with her. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with us disagreeing with her and being suspicious of whether she gets the mandate to deliver the judgment that she delivered. The judges disagree even amongst themselves. In the Constitutional Court recently, the Chief Justice disagreed with 8 other judges in terms of the APSA report. So we disagree with the judge that passed the judgment in the North Gauteng High Court. That is why we're going to subject that judgment to a constitutional challenge to reaffirm the powers of the public protector, because they cannot be just mere recommendations. They cannot just be set aside because of those who think that there will be irreparable damage when the remedial actions are being implemented. So that is basically our position, and we had anticipated that such is going to be the judgment. She's even venturing into areas of review which are part B of the applications that was made by Pravin Gordhan. And that is
why then did you bother to go to court if you knew what the outcome was going to be?
It's unfortunately a constitutional process that you have to comply with. Even when we do not have faith in these people, we sometimes have to appear before them, present our argument, knowing that we have got a recourse, which is the upper courts that can overturn that judgment. If they rule contrary to us...
Are you saying that you have no faith in our justice system?
Not the entire justice system. We've got no faith in the judge that ruled in the North Gauteng High Court.
Because you don't like the outcome?
No, because of the attitude that she displayed. Also because of her rush to want to pronounce a judgment, just immediately the arguments have been presented without having a thought process to say that what is the essence of what both sides are saying. How do you say immediately people finish speaking, you say, "Can I give you the judgment now? I can do it now." But if you want to delay it, you can do it later on and everything else. It shows that already there was a prejudgment that was thought by that particular judge, and we disagree with her, and there's nothing wrong with that.
On the public protector,
yes.
Do you think she's fit?
Yes, the public protector is fit and proper to hold office as a public protector of South Africa. And in areas where we disagree with her, we will say that. And by the way, most people misconstrue a simple thing that when we deal with politics, we're not dealing with fans of football clubs of Kaizer Chiefs, that even when Kaizer Chiefs continues to lose, we say we are still fans of Kaizer Chiefs and everything else. Even if they lose, even there are people who are still fans of Moroka Swallows today, even when it is not playing at the high league levels, because they are still loyal to it. In politics, when you make a mistake, we tell you that public protector on this case, you have made a mistake, we disagree with you fundamentally, and we express that in the most clearest form. And when you have done well, we then say that you have done well in this particular aspect in terms of all these issues.
But I'm sure you've seen
in terms of all those issues, that is how we deal with it.
You've seen that Julius Malema soundbite where he was saying, no, this person made the wrong...
Context. Public protector is not Kaizer Chiefs, it's not Orlando Pirates. Public protector is a fallible human being who can make mistakes. That is why when she instructed...
I hear you about the office of the
when she instructed
that it shouldn't be undermined. And I think, people share that view with...
Yes, and when advocate...
Here we're talking specifically about Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, the person who occupies that office.
When advocate,
you have confidence in her, in her abilities.
Yes, we do.
So
when Advocate, yes, we think she's fit and proper. When Advocate Mkhwebane made a legal mistake of instructing Parliament to change the Constitution, we were worried at the beginning of her office to say that a public protector cannot do that. We were beginning to question her understanding of the law. But we got to appreciate that she prioritizes cases that deal with ordinary human beings. She prioritizes cases that are holding the executive accountable. She's not part of the band of New Dawn people who are praising the current establishment despite the mistakes and the wrongdoing that is ongoing in South Africa currently.
But you have High Court and Constitutional Court judges scathing.
Vuyo, there's High Court and Constitutional Court, there's disagreement even amongst them. We've got every right as the EFF. Why would the Chief Justice fundamentally disagree with Constitutional Court judges, and we, as political leadership, we are not allowed to disagree with them? We disagree with them in certain languages and articulations, in the certain words that are chosen. We don't agree with them. I don't agree, for instance, we don't agree actually collectively with the view that when a public protector has finalized a remedial action, must go and consult with the people that are affected. It is not in the law. The law says that you must consult the people who are affected on the findings, and she has consistently done that. Not on the remedial action, because majority of the times, remedial action is prescribed to different agencies. In a case that is at point now, you've got the NPA, which must do this, you've got Parliament, you've got the President who must do this, you've got the SAPS that must do certain things. Are you saying that every time a public protector must finish a report, she must go and consult all of those people and then ignore the immediate task that she has to deal with in the immediate? We disagree with them, they disagree amongst themselves, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No, isn't it that you like this public protector because the way she has approached her work plays into what your agenda? In other words, you're happy she's dealing with the people that you don't like.
No,
so it's not a principled position.
It's because she's not afraid to reveal facts that there is an illegal rogue unit that is involved in illegal spying activities. Section 209 of the Constitution does not permit any agency of the state to establish an intelligence service unless there is an approval by the President and there's a legislation that provides for that. And there is nothing wrong with the public protector exposing that, because that illegal rogue unit is still existing. It is being utilized for private purposes by Pravin Gordhan and his cabal to victimize and hound people that are disagreeing with him. That is a fact. And there is nothing wrong with her doing such in a decisive and courageous way. So we celebrate her for that, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, we'll see what the courts say about those matters. Now, let's talk about your plan, then, to grow your political party. And I'm going to link the public protector issue again, because already you have parties that say she should have the process of looking into her fitness to occupy that office must be speeded up. Obviously, you're not going to support that.
Which process?
The process that certain political parties are calling for, that Parliament should look into her fitness to hold.
Look, we do not agree. Look,
so you're not going to support?
You must remember that the Fifth Democratic Parliament underwent that process of checking the fitness of the public protector to hold office. And there was a conclusion which was adopted just at the tail end of Parliament that she is fitted proper to hold office. The Portfolio Committee on Justice exonerated her. But because there is deep-rooted interest by the establishment now that is being questioned, they would always raise
that process was abandoned on the eve of the election.
You've got wrong facts. You've got wrong facts. You must go to the parliament records. There's a report which was adopted by the Portfolio Committee on justice that exonerated the public protector in terms of a fitness to hold office. That issue was raised by the chief whip of the DA, and it was dealt with amicably. The Fifth Parliament dealt with it. There is no material basis now to resume the process, but if they want to bring it, let them bring it on. I don't think that the Sixth Parliament is going to reach any different conclusion. It won't.
Now, you pursued the issue of land expropriation without compensation. Are there areas where you believe you and the ANC in particular will find one another on getting into the program of the Sixth Parliament?
I think we're going to find each other on the fact that we should amend the Constitution to permit for expropriation of land without compensation. The ANC is still confused in terms of what happens thereafter. So we then enter to provide leadership like we always do, to say that the state must be custodian of all land. It is international practice that once you expropriate without compensation, you don't expropriate from John to give to Jack. You don't expropriate from Vuyo to give to Tabiso. You expropriate for common ownership, and then you give land user rights so that people can have access to land equitably. That is global, international, accepted practice. That is what the land report, the panel, by the way, says that in terms of international practice, that is permissible, instead of shifting from one other person to another, in that narrower sense. So in terms of amendment of the Constitution, we're going to find each other, and I think that where there will be slight difference, which we have to work on ideologically and politically, will be to deal with what becomes the most adequate redistribution format in terms of making sure that all South Africans, the black majority in particular, gain access to productive land for a variety of purposes, be residential purposes, religious purposes, industrial purposes, recreational purposes, industrial purposes, and a variety of other things that the land must be used for educational purposes. That is ultimately the ultimate end, that the ownership of land in South Africa must reflect the demographics of South Africa. 80% of black people must be in ownership and control of 80% of South Africa's land.
Okay, that's what we're going to leave this evening. Thank you very much for coming through. Well, the Deputy Leader of the EFF, Floyd Shivambu. When we return, it's Spinners and Spanners.